Hey everybody, welcome to Unscripted, where we're all about having inspiring better conversations and thinking more deeply and critically about faith, life, and leadership. Today, I am here with Aaron, my good friend Aaron, my long-lost good friend Aaron. Aaron, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really well.
I don't think I'm lost. You know where I've been. But.
I mean, all I know is for like 8 years, I saw you almost every day, and then all of a sudden you disappeared off the face of the earth and moved to Fond Du Lac, which is basically the same thing, right?
Pretty much.
Good deal. So tell us a little bit about that. Like, you are in Fond Du Lac. What are you doing? Give us like the 1 or 2 minute update of like what you're doing in Fond Du Lac.
You know, we just decided to move to Fond Du Lac.
Okay, yeah.
No. So my wife and I, Sydney, we moved to Fond Du Lac to plant a church. We had a baby in that process. Her name's Eliza.
Yeah.
And our church has now been around for quite a few months, and it's going super well. But living in Fond Du Lac, doing the Fond Du Lac thing, 30 minutes away from Ripon. But no, it's been awesome. We're trying to reach people for Jesus. You know, our mission is the same mission as Ripon Community, which is all about helping people take their next step in their relationship with God. So that's what we're doing in Fond Du Lac. And then we're also trying to survive as a new parent, you know, like and get some sleep, as you're giving me a hard time about looking tired. I am
did
tired.
Give you a tired
I am
time
tired.
This morning. Like, Aaron, like, you're looking a little tired this morning. Like, what's the
I'm
deal?
a church planner and I have a baby.
Yeah, that's
my
not
first
much.
Baby. So
no kidding. Well, we've got 3, so when you get there, give me a call.
Then I look like you then from now on, where people don't say you look tired, you just are tired. No, I'm just kidding.
That's probably true. It's probably true. Oh man, no kidding. Well, I am excited about what you guys are doing there. I've seen so many of the updates. I haven't been able to come and visit. Like, I'm excited for the time that I'm able to come and visit and see the whole thing in person. I've heard so much good about it. From everything I've seen, you guys are killing it. It's just a really cool deal, especially for Fond Du Lac. I mean, just it feels like a really good fit for Fond Du Lac.
Yeah.
So way to go. But that's not what I really want to talk about today.
All right.
I mean, I want to talk about your past year, but I want to talk about like the harder parts, because you've had like a year.
Yeah.
You moved and you had a baby, but that's like the half of the difficulty. So if you're willing, can you just tell me like what happened this summer?
Sure. COVID? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's like the minor thing. And then on top of that,
so my family moved to Fond Du Lac, and then we ended up having a baby, or planning on having a baby, and then we wanted to find a house that we wanted to start our family in. So we ended up moving to Fond Du Lac, and then found a different house that we wanted to have raise our family in. So we moved again in Fond Du Lac. It was last spring in May, and it was a week after our baby was born, was when we closed. So
you were just really good at timing,
not
man.
Not difficult at all. And the church was going to start in like 2 or 3 months from there. Yeah. So and amidst COVID. So we moved and loved the place, or the house that we were at. And once we moved, probably about 3 or 4 weeks later, we had a house fire. And that was a scary moment. We were at the house. Our baby was inside at the time. We were outside at the time, so that was super scary. But we were able to get out, and fire alarms are going off and things like that, and our whole house basically had to be redone. The fire wasn't like kind of contained in one spot, but so much water goes into I don't know if you know this, but like in a fire, like so much water gets sprayed that everything gets wet, and then everything has to then get like pulled out that gets wet. So basically our whole house had to get gutted, which meant us living somewhere else right after moving. So we lived actually back in Ripon for probably 5-6 months, and now we're back in our home, and things are a little bit more settled. But that was a really crazy time for us.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. And we've talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I guess what I wanted to ask you about that is, I mean, just to like put all the cards on the table, you planning a new church, which is in and of itself, from everybody that I've ever talked to who's planted a church, one of the most difficult entrepreneurial, family trying acts that you can do. You have a baby.
Yep.
You move twice.
Yep.
You have a fire.
Yep.
You have to remodel your whole house.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
At what point did you think, oh my gosh, what happened? What am I doing?
I never was like at a point where I'm like, what am I doing? I felt in that moment, like when the house fire happened, like I don't like to just label anything bad that happens like contrary to God or whatever, but like
Yeah.
it felt like, maybe this is like some sort of thing trying to stop us from going forward with the church plant, from moving forward with trying to stay as a positive family, as this family that's connected. So it was kind of like in the face of evil in a sense. I was kind of like, all right, I think we're doing something right. And I had like so many people affirm that. We're like, I think that this is something's going on here, and I think you're onto something. I think what's happening at Centerpoint Church and the development of coming to Fond Du Lac, there's something good that's going to come from this, and so much good did come from it. Both from our marriage standpoint, like in my own family situation, but then also like the growing that I experienced in my faith that will now come out in messages, and that as an identity of who I am that my church will hear about and things like that. Like I went through a grieving process, and obviously it's not losing a loved one, but it was a tough time for our family no matter what no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said something that I think to a lot of people sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Like insane. I don't mean to say that in a bad way, because I think the same way you do.
Sure.
But when you say this bad thing happened, and that's affirmation that I should keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that's the case?
I don't know. I guess like I have this confidence in who God has equipped me to be and called me to be. And so when I'm moving forward and doing things that I know are fully honorable to God, and how I know that is, I guess, prayer and through looking at scripture, and then also counseling with others, when I feel like I'm doing something that God would see as honorable, and something's trying to stop me from that or slow me down or pull me away from it, because let me just tell you, my wife and I, we fought a lot when we were building like a house and all that. So like that made church planning more difficult. So in that time, it was, I knew that this was a distraction, and I knew that this was trying to not make the church what it is today. So it was like, I used it as momentum, and my wife and I called it out what it is. It was like, this is not normal. This is not like God wants us to move forward with this, and he's going to use this for something great. And I think he did. I really do.
I totally agree. I think it's crazy though, right?
Yeah.
Like I think most people would think, all right, that's a big roadblock, I'm going like the other direction.
Yeah.
But I think it's amazing and like really powerful for you to be able to see this is what happened, and that's a sign that I'm supposed to keep on pushing, because God, there's something trying to get in the way of God, evil, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to follow him wherever I think he's leading me. And
I'll be real with you. Like it wasn't like clear instantly, where
for sure. Yeah.
like it was talking to a lot of people, and I remember this clear moment where I was in my car, and we just had like this other weird thing happen with like the electrical stuff, like a power line came down, and I just remember like being like, this is after the fire, and it was just like, like I banged my steering wheel. I was driving, and I was just like so mad. And I was like, why is this happening? Why do I have to think about this? I got so many other things I got to think about. So it's like, that was a low moment,
For sure.
And then like, it slowly started to be like, okay, you can get through this, and I kept repeating and thinking about who God says I am, and like how other people have supported me during this time, and like, and starting to see like there's a light at the end of this tunnel. Like I think good can come out of this, and like that perspective, and just kind of having a small like perspective of that brought me to having it be something bigger, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The verse that has kept on, as I was thinking about this interview time, like be able to chat with you and ask questions, the verse that kept coming to my mind is, God works all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. It's a great verse. I always like that verse. It sounds nice, but the living of that verse has to be hard.
Yeah. There's, like I said, it seems to be, there's this progression, and it's like, this is not fun.
Yeah.
in the house right after the fire, like my wife and I, like we held each other crying.
Yeah.
Like it was one of the lowest moments of my life, and it was like, so it was a really tough spot, but then it's like you start to see the progression of things and the growth and possibilities and perspectives of things. And so it was like all of a sudden things turned out awesome, I think.
Yeah.
Our house is rebuilt. It's amazing. Like it's all those, like, and I hate like being petty about a house, like but it was more of like the emotional aspect of it too.
For real. I mean, you live there and like you found yourself in an apartment
Yeah.
living in an apartment for
Yeah.
6 months and at the same time trying to work in Fond du Lac and do a million things
Yeah.
and have a little baby and oh man, that's a lot. So through that whole process, you've said that it's been working for some good. Like there's been all these good things that have come about it. How have like relationships and the like team of people that have been built and grown at Centerpoint, how did they respond to the summer and to the starting of the church?
Yeah, it was awesome to just see, well, kind of to separate it. Like there was my church community. They were amazing. Like, I mean, they supported us in any way they could, like from even like information. Like I have people that knew how to help me get to where I needed to be with our insurance stuff and the rebuild process and the people we use and things like that. Like people helped with that. But then I also had people that supported, like, do you need us to watch your child? Do you need us to buy you things, clothes? Do you need, all the like necessities? They took care of that. So that was amazing. And then it's just like the support of prayer, like we're praying for you, we're thinking about you. We know, that was my counsel of saying, we know that this is something that is trying to detract you from going forward with church. So that was exciting to see that. And then also to see like our community of people in Fond du Lac, actually, like even the our neighborhood, like it was just, they stepped up in like this amazing way that like we lived in this house for like a few weeks and like our neighborhood was just like, how can we help? There were so many people stopping by, bringing food, gift cards, things like that. It was just like amazing. And they don't even know us, so it's like to see our neighborhood become a church in a sense, like that's what a church community should do. And then also having my church do that, it's like, that was like this perfect blend for me to see, like, that's what I want to have happen. I want my neighborhood to align with our church community and like to see like it all ties together, and that was a powerful moment for me to like see like, all right, Fond du Lac is this place that has so much of that brewing. Let's just mesh it together,
Yeah, absolutely. So, how did it feel? I mean, I know you, so I know kind of how you think about things, and you're the type of person who likes to take care of things on your own.
Yeah.
You don't like big on like having other people help you always.
Yeah, no.
How was it for you to actually receive support and help from other people?
Awkward. Yeah.
Okay. And
So
you don't like
awkward.
awkward, so how'd that work?
Yeah, it was awkward. I went through a process. That was a process of that where it's like I was like, okay, no, stop. We don't want that. No, stop.
Yeah.
But then it was like, this is a way that I started to just see that this is a way that people can support me, support my family, support what we're doing, and getting through that. I accepted gifts, but it was like the mentality of like Sydney and I. We had this whole change of, all right, we need to be that person to others. Like we need to be someone that responds in tragedy. We need to be someone that goes to people when they're hurting or grieving or dealing with something to that extent, and maybe even smaller than that. It's like, but it like really allowed us to see like, okay, well, we experienced this and it was amazing, and it was like awkward a bit, but like it made us happy. It helped us like get through that time, and so it makes me want to do that for others now. And for both of us, Sydney and I, have like talked about like, oh, okay, we should do this, or we should try this, or to help people get through those tough times, because it was immenseful for us. So
that's amazing. I think it's really cool because you can't really know it until you've experienced it, and you can't know what it means. And also, like, I'm curious, what was something that was maybe the most what were some of the things that people did that like you were like that when that happens to somebody else, I'm going to do that for them?
Well, obviously, because it was our exact experience of fire. Like, it's like if someone experiences a fire, we see like like on the scanner reports and things like that. Like when there's a fire, like or someone posts about it on Facebook, it's like we're instantly like, what can we do? What kind of situation are they in? Should we send food, or can we get them a gift card, or do they need, whatever it is? Maybe it's just showing up with coffee, but we instantly like connect with someone that went through that same process as us, because it was such a like change in our life, and we know that that's what they're probably going through. So it's like, what are the subtle things we can do that were amazing for us?
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. Thank you so much for talking about that. I know that's probably something you've talked about a lot, and like you had to.
I'm trying to like move on from that. That's like
I know. I apologize.
Like,
Thank you for bringing it back up for me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I think it's really powerful. I think it's really important for people to hear that and to like know how much you've gone through. So if anybody gets to listen to this in Fond du Lac, I hope that they know like what an amazing family that they've gotten. I'm really mad that they took you.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for Fond du Lac. And man, the type of church that you're trying to grow, to be able to see like what's in your heart and what you're excited about, I don't think there's a better way to get that across to people than to tell that story and like have it come through. So I want to finish on that note though, is as you think about Fond du Lac and how Centerpoint is like enmeshed in Fond du Lac, what do you hope to see? Like what is your big crazy dreams, or maybe just small ones that you feel like you're excited to like go in and do the work day after day for people to know Jesus in whatever way that looks like? What are you dreaming about?
Yeah. Well, my dream is that we become a community that's set forth of looking at Jesus and trying to follow his ways. It's like having Fond du Lac be more and more aligned with that would be amazing. So it's like, and I think that starts in such a small capacity. Like we're a new church, so it's like, can't expect all of Fond du Lac to instantly know Jesus, but it starts small and it starts in families, and that's what we're seeing right now. We have a family, and then the grandparents come, and you have like multiple generations, and that is so powerful for me to see when you have all these families with multiple generations all attending the same church, all serving together, all doing different outreach projects, and it's like that's where you're going to start to hit like the impact in Fond du Lac, because it's not only you're just reaching this one generation or this one particular group, it's you're reaching all people and trying to bring in that unity and that, like collectiveness of saying like, we're this community and we're this community that's set to follow Jesus, and always pointing back to that. I think it's amazing, so that's my big dream, is that we continue to grow and we continue to serve, but not just reach a particular age group, or we're a church that is for families. We're a church that's for reaching the community. So I'm excited about that. That's my
awesome
dream.
I think it's an awesome dream, and I think you're well on your way to doing it, and that's really, really exciting. So,
thanks.
Last thing, to have a little bit of fun. I know we were talking and joking around before you sat down a little bit here about the Church Planner 5. I don't know. I'm curious, like, what you're a sports like activity person. Yeah. What is like your favorite thing that you've gotten to do in Fond du Lac area that's active? I know that you've been doing some different things, skiing and biking and that sort of thing.
Yeah, we do a lot of cross country skiing, a lot of fat biking. Anything that you can bring a baby along with is super fun.
What's the most crazy thing you brought a baby along on?
Well, some people think it's crazy. To us, it's like normal, but like we have a cross country skiing like tag along that we pull her in. It's like a big sled and stuff.
That's so great.
That's super fun. But I'm excited about this summer of like, because last summer we were a little bit displaced, where this summer we're excited to do more biking and to bring our child Eliza along a little bit with that. And I also want to maintain my Strava segments.
Yeah, you got some work to do, man.
What are you talking about? I think I got all the ripping ones still around here.
For those who don't know, Strava is an app where you compete against other people in like different areas where you like, have
I
a
left my mark
course
here
and
in
you
ripping,
race.
so
yeah, don't worry, I'm getting myself in shape. I'll get you. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Give my best to Sydney and Eliza, and I am so grateful for you sitting down. Thanks for listening, and we will see you all again next week. Thanks, Aaron.
Yep, see you.